Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Delves In, where we read scary creepypastas and weird Reddit stories. I am Delve. With me today is
Cooper.
the great Catsby.
Cooper.
Yes, and our dog. Little life update. Sorry that we missed an episode last week. We've been very busy. Delves In has been snowed in for quite a while.
There's about 6 or 7 inches of snow outside.
Yeah, not even a joke. About 6 or 7 inches of snow. And without giving too much away, Delves In is officially franchising and will be moving, to a new location. Yeah, we bought our second Delves In that we're going to be moving into. So we've been dealing with that as well. So that's why we missed an episode last week. It's just been a lot. So hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, you'll be seeing, it'll either be the same set or I'll mix it up. I don't know. Probably just the same bullshit. Maybe a different couch.
You'll notice it will be different though.
Yeah. It'll be a different
At least a little
atmosphere.
bit.
Also, I don't know if you can tell, we bought an actual camera, so I'm not using a webcam anymore. So I'm sorry if you can see all of my pores and red spots and shit. I'm sorry if it looks like we're looking down. The camera's up there now, but we read from my computer, which is there. But the last time we read a story, also, there was an avalanche of shit a second ago, and so I'm actually going to plug my laptop back in. Literally everything fell over in the set. There was my TV fell, our light fell, my other TV fell, my Xbox fell, and the camera fell. The only thing that didn't fall, thank God, was my computer, which is probably the most expensive part of the setup, so that's nice. So yeah, I'm sorry, back on track. So the last episode we read a story by Andersvane that I still am under the impression, even after like ruminating on it, really thinking about it, truly one of the best stories, short stories, poems that we've ever read. I don't know what he's doing.
Looking at himself in the reflection.
Of the TV?
Yeah.
Can you lay down, please? Can you please be normal? You can't jump down, there's too many wires. You're trapped. You're locked in, dude. So, I'm sorry if the camera blinks or something. I think it's auto-focusing, so every time like we lean back and forward, it tries to shift with the light, so get over it.
We know you care so much.
Yeah, in a perfect world, you'll just be listening to us. You won't actually be watching. But anyway, so Andersvane's story was really, really, really good. So, I actually reached out to him and told him how much I loved his story. He was stoked. So I'm going to, in this episode, make it just the Andersvane special. He's got 3 more short stories on Reddit that we're going to read. And they're really, I like how short they are. Like, you really can get a whole lot out of just a little. So hopefully we'll be able to knock out all those in one episode. And then, yeah, that's it. I hope they're just as good as the last one, even if they're half as good. I know they're still going to be bangers. So, are you ready for this?
Ready.
Okay. So our first story of Andersvane's on Reddit we should read. Let's go. We're going to start with The Wrong Body. How's that feel?
The wrong body feels right.
Nice, dude. That was killer. This one came out 2 months ago. It was posted to Short Scary Stories. Without further ado, The Wrong Body. The workers brought the wrong body to the Hall of Echoes. They dragged it up from the 4th ward, fresh from a collapse that had turned 2 men to chalk. White dust has still clung to their sleeves and work boots as they heaved their find onto the slab. It lay there, frost-veined and broad, but the proportions were grotesque. The ribs were too long, the throat too short. Leave us. The guards hesitated, eyeing the corpse with unease before retreating. The heavy doors closed. When the dust settled, the warden of the hall stood alone with the thing, and the air was filled with the scent of wet stone and utter silence. He laid his hand on the corpse's shoulder. The flesh was cold. The bone shifted under his palm. The shape of the joint relaxed and flowed like tallow. rounding until it fit his grip perfectly. It wasn't quite dead, he thought. It is still adapting. The warden drew his blade and sliced the shirt away. The steel flashed close enough to taste, sharp and clean. The sternum didn't end where it should. A pale tongue of bone continued down to the navel. He pressed his thumb against the center. It was soft as wax. The bone molded itself to his thumb, encapsulating it. He withdrew it. It came out with a thwop. Make a thwop sound for me.
How do you make a flop sound?
Like a... Don't panic.
Like a...
Not quite.
Like a...
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with puh.
Puh!
Puh.
Like a...
Like a puh. Undeterred, he dug his hands into the seam and peeled the chest apart. There was no blood. The cavity was slick with clear, scentless slime. Beneath it, where a heart should have struggled, sat a single black stone. It was perfectly spherical, glistening as if pulled from a wet mouth. Leaning over the cavity, he stared into the polished surface of the stone. His reflection stared back. It was warped and stretching. He tilted his head from side to side. The image mimicked him, first perfectly, then lagging, then not at all. It smiled. The warden's mouth did not. A sound like a long groan vibrated through the room. Can you do a long groan? That was good. At the far end, the skeleton of the giant of old, the frozen watcher, seemed to lean forward. The corpse's eyelids snapped open. A wet crack sounded through the hall. Do a wet crack. Perfect. You're getting better. The eyes beneath were not clouded with death. Smoke coiled within, gray and shifting like his own. A hand shot up, grabbing the warden's wrist. His bones ground together as the grip tightened. The corpse's skin rippled, flushing with color, stealing the heat straight from his blood. The black stone shone brightly and wobbled, like a heartbeat. The sound it made was a heavy, wet badonk that echoed through the walls. Do a heavy, wet badonk.
Badonk.
Good. The thing opened its mouth, and when it spoke, it didn't use the Jotun's rough growl. It used the warden's voice, perfect and terrible. I am the vessel, it said, pulling him down toward the open chest. And you are the meat. Interesting. Aw, this guy said 0 out of 0. This deserves expansion. Seriously. I don't know. See, I guess I get where that commenter is coming from, but like clearly it's supposed to be like a small vignette into something.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like if you were to imagine, you remember in like elementary school, your teachers always say you need to write a story. It has to have like a hook. Like the first paragraph or paragraphs need to be the hook.
This is the hook.
This is the hook. And it makes you want more. And I think that's a good thing. I will say, the whole time I'm reading this, I'm just thinking of the scene from Thing where, oh, fuck.
I'm thinking of the
Jace?
the tunnels in Harry Potter.
Oh,
That go down to like the underworld where the snake is and shit.
I have not seen it, but I'm glad that you gleaned that.
Yeah, either that from the second movie or the first movie where he fights the professor that has Voldemort on the back of his head. I imagine like that dark dungeony stone setting.
Yeah, I was getting like the same thing. There's like in Game of Thrones, there's like an underbelly of one of the cities where they keep a bunch of dragon skulls. So I'm kind of picturing the same exact thing you are. But like just the way that they're like examining this corpse and like its gut opens up.
I get that.
And then eats it.
Thing.
Yeah, it gives me the thing, you know, when they've got the defibs. And then it goes. No. No, not blah. That's the greatest movie ever made. Stop it. Stop with the thing hate. Anyway, I like it. I like the descriptions. I even like a lot of stories kind of forget that when you're reading it, that like sound is a thing. You know what I mean? Like a lot of stories like forget, they get too description on like the visual so you can picture it, but they don't really put a lot into like the auditory side of a story. But this one did a very good job of both, I think. It was like each sentence was almost dedicated to like what it looks like and what it sounds like.
Sure.
And I like that. A lot of stories forget that. I like that this one remembered it. It's good. I would agree. It does need to be fleshed out a little bit. I kind of like too, like clearly he has like a backstory and like a world built for this story, but instead of like spending time going into the weeds of like setup and explanation and lore building,
we're just in it.
He's just like, here's a scene from a world that I've built in my head. And if you want the rest of the world, I can do that, but until then, that's what this is. And I appreciate that. It's very well written. So, I mean, I definitely give it higher than a fucking 0. That's just mean. I'd give it 6 or 7. I'd give it a 6 or a 7.
Let's do what our agent did. Give it a ranking. You can't choose 7.
6.
Okay.
It's good, but that other one was so good, you know? You know what I'm saying? Alright, now the next one is called The Symmetry Problem. Now, I do remember I had glanced at this story when we were going to record that last episode, and I ended up not reading it, and I instead read The Night Aquarium, which is funny because at the time I didn't even realize they were both by Andersvane. So I actually did skim this one already. So this one should be good. This one is The Symmetry Problem. This one came out 1 month ago, once again on the Short Scary Stories subreddit. Arthur pulled...
I want to read.
Okay, I'm sorry. Don't hit me. Cooper, don't dig my light. Okay, you read it.
Arthur pulled the vacuum cleaner across the floor, listening for the satisfying grit clatter. I love that. Oh! As a clean freak, I know exactly what that sounds like, and it is very satisfying.
It's a very distinct sound, actually.
It is. His eyes settled on the Persian rug, the one his wife Sarah was so proud of. To him, it had become an eyesore. It was swollen in the middle. A spongy, out-of-place hump. A radiator pipe ran under the floor just there, feeding it a trapped, damp warmth. It wouldn't do. Certain kinds of clutter were remarkably inefficient. All angles and unpredictable soft spots. He started with smaller corrections months ago. Stacking her books out of sight, burying her keepsakes in storage boxes, the relief never lasted. She still had a way of leaking into the corners of his mind. One had to be firm if one wanted symmetry.
I like this setup already.
He retrieved a serrated knife, a spray can of flower-scented mildew spray, and a small plastic bag. Arthur paused to wonder why he put it under the rug in the first place. Had he gone mad? No, he decided. Not everything fit the bucket. It had to make sense at the time. He cut along where the rug bubbled, sawing gently, careful not to slip. The cut should be symmetric. A sour, sweet, musty tang wafted up where he cut. He began scooping the pulp into the bag. He liked the moment when something stopped being a problem. Don't we all?
You sound a lot like Arthur.
The buzzer rang. The sound was annoying, asymmetrical. Henderson. Had to be. The man was a human stain. I want to call someone that one day.
Read the next line.
A collector of grievances.
That's so good. The man was a human stain. A collector of grievances. Oh my god, that's ruthless.
The next time someone's being mean to you, you're a human stain, bitch.
Yeah, dude, next time somebody's complaining to you here at work, next time we have a visitor with us, you just need to be like, oh look, another collector of grievances. That's so good. God, that's so good.
Arthur, it's George. The voice came through the door. Arthur looked at the remaining wet pulp. He needed to finish quickly. He scraped the last of the sticky bits free with his fingers. George rapped again. I hear you moving things around. I know you're there.
Not a good time, George.
Arthur called back. He sprayed the wet area with mildew spray and the room, too, for good measure. Then placed the cut rug piece back into place. He smothered the fibers with both hands until the surface looked symmetrical. He opened the lid on the damp waste bucket in the kitchen, dumped the bag, and then closed the lid tightly. Another set of wrapping. More instant now.
Insistent.
more insistent now. Then he washed his hands, set the vacuum back in place, and placed the knife in the sink. He didn't rinse the blade first. That was new. But everything was orderly again, balanced. Arthur smoothed his shirt, arranged his face, and opened the door. Finally, Henderson scowled, leaning in, his gaze raking the apartment. Have you seen my cat? He asked, half accusing.
Afraid not.
Henderson's eyes drifted past him inside the room. I'll just have a look. He stepped forward. Arthur moved aside with the utmost politeness. Inside,
Stop.
He itch rose again. As Henderson crossed the threshold, Arthur's eyes flicked to the bucket. Then they moved to Henderson's fleshy neck, and Arthur wondered briefly what it would take to make him fit.
God, I love his writing so much.
So we're dealing with a whole monster?
Huh?
It's a whole monster.
Whole monster?
The hole is a monster. Right?
That's not what I was getting. I was getting that Arthur is beginning to have an OCD schizophrenic break, and the mere thought of his annoying neighbor, not being symmetrical, he's starting to think like, can I chop him up and put him in my bucket? Because he's cutting up that carpet trying to get rid of it, and he's putting it into a bucket, and now he's wondering at the end, he's like, what would it take to make him fit? Sawing him up and stuffing him in the bucket. I kind of like these kinds of stories where like somebody just goes crazy mentally with the obsession of like either cleanliness or neatness or tidiness or anything like that, and like it slowly starts to evolve into like murder. Like, oh, this person's unclean, I have to kill them, I have to smother them in bleach. I really like that. I read a story, a creepypasta one time that was about this guy. He was a hospice nurse for an old lady, and he said how much like her house was falling apart, and so like every time he would go over there, he would notice that the what's that shit you stick to a wallpaper, he was noticing that it was starting to peel, and so like he over the course of the story he starts to like OCD obsess over peeling the wallpaper off of the wall. Like every time he would see a peel, he would just feel compelled to like go up and peel it off. And then like the twist at the end of the story was the whole time he was in some sort of hallucinogenic state, and he was peeling the old lady's skin off. So every time he would see like the peels on the wall, he was actually like peeling her skin off. It's one of those stories where you kind of see the twist coming, like where it's going to end up. But I just think that was such a neat idea. Like being compelled, like, oh, I've got to peel this wall. I got to peel it. And then at the end, I can't remember what happened. Somebody comes over and they see the old lady in her like hospice bed, and she's just skinless. And they're like, what the fuck happened? And then that's when he clicks. He's like, oh, I did that. Nope, that was me. I saw her wrinkles and I peeled. It was well written. I liked it. And this kind of was giving me like that vibe. I like it. And once again, it's just one of those stories where like really nothing happens. And I mean that as a compliment. Like there's no crescendo, there's no build up, there's not really a climax. It's just sort of a small vignette into a thing, And I love that. I think it's so interesting. Let's see some of these comments. Just one. Peasant Frog. Love the tone. It's so detached and polite. And then Andersvane said, one must always be polite. Heart. Yeah, I completely agree. The tone is so good. I love the perspective of Arthur. Yeah, you could do so much with that. Well done. Well written. Just he hasn't missed yet. No misses so far. And then the last one, well, let's see what we're at here first. Are we at
19?
19? Okay, yeah, we got time for one more. The Rupture. This one came out a month ago on Short Scary Stories. The Rupture. The fluorescent lights in the community center basement hummed. Harm is a rupture in connection, Carol said with a broad smile. She wore a pilled oatmeal cardigan. When she laughed, a chipped tooth became visible. We weren't there to learn empathy. We were learning syntax. Not sorry, but reframing guilt. Not forgiveness, but boxing it in. It felt like coding. Try it, Carol urged. I recited the script. The air pressure dropped, my ears popped. A wet, pressurized sound. Nice. Carol's eyes moistened. A simple test. Nobody got hurt, but I felt smoother. The first time I used it in the wild, I was late for our anniversary. David was shouting, his face red with anger. I felt the guilt like a stone in my gut and wanted it gone. David! Excuse me. David, I said, my voice turned. I surrender to validate the landscape of your disappointment. The phrase didn't convince him. It ran on him, like a command. His eyes jumped left, then right. His mouth opened on the next sentence and came out empty. Then, the taste. Ash, flooding my throat like a mouthful of bile. His shoulders dropped, the flesh vanished. He looked mildly confused, as if coming off a daydream. That's mature of you, he said flatly. The stone in my gut was gone, replaced by a cool, polished void. I began using the phrases. When I cost the firm $50,000, I surrendered my narrative of competence to the boss. Pop, blur, bile. He clapped my shoulder, calling me leadership material. Maya, my partner on the project, was gone by noon. When I mentioned her name, the team frowned. She hadn't just been fired, she'd been de-indexed. I tried LinkedIn and got a bright, chirpy nothing. No match. Nothing. Like she never was. I stopped feeling. The facts of my life remained, but the heat was gone. My memories became data entries of someone else's scandals. My skin cleared, my posture became symmetrical. I was becoming airbrushed. Finally, I met Sarah. 3 years ago, I got her fired. She lost her apartment. I used to replay her screaming in a loop. Now I sat across from her in a cafe. She was 20 pounds heavier, wore her hair too long. I am holding space for your pain, I whispered. Pop, blur, bile. Sarah's shaking hands went still. She exhaled a 3-year-old breath of agony and smiled. She hugged me. It's weird, she said. I feel so clear. You're the safest person I know. I tried to summon the shame of what I'd done to her. My mind skidded off the memory like wet hands on glass. There was only a smooth white space. The barista called a name. No one turned. Not even I. The word didn't connect. Safest person, Sarah repeated. I smiled back, perfectly symmetrical. I was harmless. I was optimized. I was almost not there at all. Wow. Such, like, he has such an ability to write such an impactful story in, like, less than 400 words.
This is what I imagine, like, sociopaths convince themselves that they're, like, blending into society.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
You know? Like, they try to figure out how to feel things when they don't feel things. Or have, like, a process to kind of, like, seem human when they're not.
I mean, it's almost like somebody who is not a sociopath attended sociopath classes and learned how to be one. It's kind of
like learn how to turn off feeling.
Know how to avoid the responsibility of feeling.
Got it.
So telling other people what they want to hear, but not necessarily feeling it yourself.
Right.
So like, kind of taking responsibility, but not really.
Saying the right things.
Yeah. Like saying, hey, I take accountability for my actions, but not actually like internalizing that whatsoever. Just letting everyone else around you know that you could be feeling that, but you're really not.
Right. Let them feel better.
Yeah. It's almost like that's almost the scariest story that you could write because how grounded it is. Like, it's a very real thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, especially like, and I don't want to get all like, you know, red pilled on you, but like all those red pill podcasts that like tell dudes like, just don't feel anything. Like, don't feel sad or angry or anything. Just be stoic, stoicism. But like, they're just kind of taking out the accountability of guilt, really,
right.
or emotion in general. That's kind of like the scariest part of a story like this is it's like there really are people out there that attend these like online dude bro classes in order to just like avoid all emotion entirely. And not that I completely disagree with that, because some emotions you should ignore. But guilt isn't one of them. You should feel guilty and feel responsible and have accountability. Like, those are good emotions. What? Just so impactful. I didn't really love the first story. That one was okay, but these next two were really good. I really like the symmetry one. What was this one called? The Rupture? Yeah, this one was really good. Read a comment or two. Vicky, I am 40. Yeah, I don't like this. Left me feeling uneasy. You have succeeded. Great story. Truly creepy vibe. Andersvane says, appreciate this. Yam International just says smooth. Yeah, it's one of those, like, you almost forget you're reading a story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just like, it's so easy. What the fuck? Sorry, I read this. What does this mean? Oh, okay. That's a rule. Sorry, I just saw on the right here, r/short scary stories rules, and I just saw rape, pedophilia, and bestiality at number 6. But it says that those things will be removed. Well done, dude. These were really killer. He sent me a Dropbox through DM, and I think it had more of his stories, because really, I would truly love to read more stories. Yeah, over here, he says, see Astral Week and Jotun Bride. Oh, Jotun Bride. I wonder if that other one that we read about the body, I wonder if that's a part of a much larger story. Because I remember the word Jotun being in it. So maybe that's why we didn't get it that much. Maybe there is some context that we needed. What are you doing? You licking the floor? Okay.
Thank you for coming to this episode of Delves In. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you got a little creeped out. Stay warm out there.
And thank you, Andersvane, for letting us read your stories.
Yes.
Big
That's
ups.
it.
Peace out.
Find myself within darkness twisting me.